Hello guys, today I am going to be doing a trilogy of book hauls. So I have been collecting books from sort of like April time to May time, and I wanted to kind of collect them in a haul, but I knew it was going to be too big and I wouldn't want to really kind of edit that down. So I thought, let me try and split it into three things, a trilogy if you will, broken down further into like chapters or parts, and each video will have a different kind of selection of books. So they're not split in genres or anything like that, just more like where I got them, I guess. So this first one is going to be it's a physical book haul, and these are all the books I got. Well, to be fair, this and another haul I could put together, but it's still going to be like too long. But this is all the books that I got really cool deals on from Books2door, and I've got an unboxing to do. The other one is going to be all my NetGalley e-arcs that I've recently been approved for, and the other one is going to be all the books that I've recently purchased off of my new favourite thing, Vinted. So without further ado, this is going to be a long video even though I have broken them down. Let's get started. Keep an eye out for the other hauls, they will be dotted over the next month or so, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. So let's get started with the unboxing. I had made a really kind of spontaneous order from Books2door, and I think I did this in the early part of April, so I've really held my willpower not opening this because I wanted to come in here and kind of show you guys what I got. I kind of remember generally what I got, but I think for the most part it is a little bit hazy. They are definitely all book sets, so yeah, some really excellent deals on that website. This is like the third or fourth time I've ordered from them now. They've got some awesome like bundled prices. It kind of reminds me of like the Works, and I heard about this site from Kat, from Kat's Reading Corner. She is Kat's Reading Room on BookTube, Kat's Reading Corner on Instagram, and yeah, I heard her talk about this website like last year or the year before or so, and it's amazing. So yeah, you get some awesome book sets in here, new books, old books, you know, they're not just book sets. So let's try and open this without mashing up the books underneath. I actually had scissors with me this time, prepared or what. Okay, so it's all beautifully secured with like paper, just layers of paper. And this is how it looks inside. Yeah, 5 different book sets, box sets, I don't really know what they're called. Let's just grab, I think this might be the one that I initially went on the site for. So because I've been buying from it before, I get advertisements like pop up here and there, and the one that advertised was something that I was really excited for, and I didn't know if they were going to be graphic novels or not, and I think they are just novels, and they are The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And obviously this is inspired by the Netflix TV show, although I say that I didn't know if it was kind of originally this before the show or what, but I've recently just finished season 4, which is I believe the final season now, and I wanted to get these. I don't want to guess, but they were really reasonable for all these books, so I'll put prices in the description if you are interested. So this is a prequel novel by Sarah Reese Brennan. I think, yeah, this author writes all of them. So we've got Season of the Witch, Daughter of Chaos, and Path of Night. I'm very, very excited. I'm wondering if it is set before season 1, with its own prequel. So yeah, it's a trilogy of those. Most of these books that I got are trilogies, so I guess the title of Trilogy of Book Haul kind of works too. But yeah, super excited, and I love that they come kind of sealed together, so you know that's one set until you're ready to read them. And they're all like neat. So Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Next up in my box of goodies, I have got a selection of Fredrik Backman or Backman novels, and I've been wanting to try out his books for a little while now. I will say, in terms of the tape on this one, it does feel a bit too tight, like it's disfiguring the book. But anyway, I got a set of his books. So I've been wanting to read a man called Ove, as I've heard some amazing things about this. It is a little chipped, just so you know, so sometimes due to packaging and stuff, things does come a little bit scuffed, but I mean, I paid such a decent price, I'm not too fussed. So we've got a man called Ove, Britt Marie was here, and my grandmother sends her regards and apologies. That's another one that I've been interested in reading. So yeah, a nice selection there to hopefully dip my toes into, see if he's an author that I would enjoy, and maybe go on to read some more of his stuff if I enjoy them. So yeah, a nice little sample here. Next up, a beefy trilogy that I've been wanting to watch the show for the longest time, and I think I just really would enjoy the books as well. And they are, I think they're called the All Souls trilogy, and they're by Deborah Harkness. So we have A Discovery of Witches, Shadow of Night, and The Book of Life. So I feel like people have said that this is basically Twilight but for adults. So I feel like I would really enjoy this. I'm hoping I enjoy this. I think it's got vampires and werewolves and stuff of that nature in. And yeah, it just looks like a nice beefy book fantasy trilogy that I am gonna enjoy. I think it's kind of set more like in the real world, or a world close to ours. So, you know, everyday affairs as well as this magical kind of supernatural element. So I'm hoping and praying I enjoy these. The next trilogy I have here is another well-loved one, and I'm glad to have got the new editions. I think these are beautiful, although I'm not happy with the sticker on it because it's recently become a TV show on Netflix, and that is the Grishaverse trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. And this is one of those like OG YA fantasies that I feel like everybody has loved and read and enjoyed, but I never got on that hype unfortunately at the time. So I'm late to the party, but I'm hoping to enjoy it. We have Shadow of Bone, Ruin and Rising, and Sage and Storm. Or is it Siege and Storm? I feel like everybody knows what these are about. Again, stunning covers. These redesigns are absolutely up my street. Like, oh, I love the colours and like how they all weave together. So excited for these ones. I'm going to be excited for everything, so I do apologise right now if I repeat myself. So we're getting on to some chunkier sets in here. I have bought myself the Rivers of London book series by Ben Aronovich. I've been wanting to read these for a good while. Their covers again are quite striking. I'll show you the spines there, but I didn't really know a lot about it. But then from what I understood, it kind of gives me vibes of that V.E. Schwab book. I think it's a V.E. Schwab book where they've got different kind of Londons, like Red London and all that. I'm pretty sure it reminds me of that concept. I might be completely wrong, but anyway, definitely intrigued to try this series. So we have Rivers of London, Moon Over Soho, Whispers Underground, Broken Homes, Foxglove Summer, The Hanging Tree. So interesting. I'm not really sure. In my head I feel like it's fantasy. I might be completely wrong, but I feel like it's a series I could enjoy, just to throw myself in there and kind of just see what I get, you know. And the last box set that I got from Books2door is the complete collection of The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, and it just says The Wizard of Oz collection. And I never realised that they were split up into so many books like originally. I didn't know there were so many. So we have the 15 box set here, and beautiful covers, like beautiful spines. I'll probably be keeping this box because it is absolutely stunning. Nearly knocked myself out, blimey. It is beautiful. The cover designs and illustrations are by Andrew Davis. So we've got The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The Marvelous Land of Oz, Ozma of Oz, Dorothy and the Wizard in Oz, The Road to Oz, The Emerald City of Oz, The Patchwork Girl of Oz, TikTok of Oz, The Scarecrow of Oz, Rincketink of Oz, The Lost Princess of Oz, The Tin Woodman of Oz, The Magic of Oz, Glinda of Oz, and The Royal Book of Oz. So I hope that I can get a bit more content and enjoy things that I didn't even realise existed in this world. Like, I honestly thought it was just The Wizard of Oz and that was like it, but I was wrong. Okay, next up, the majority of books I feel are from charity shops. I think there might be 2 or 3 that I bought new in like HMV and Asda or Tesco's, but everything else, yeah, I got in various charity shops. I'll try to list the shops that I went into down below. I don't know if I've kept the receipts for those, but I went into like 3 or 4 different charity shops and got a good selection. But before I get into those ones, let me just get the ones out of the way that are new releases that I bought like full price in like H&V and that. So in Asda, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got both of these in Asda. They are like continuations of a series that I have not read, and this is where I'm kicking myself because it's kind of embarrassing. Like, why do I get all the books like book 20 plus when I've not even started it? So I'm just going to quickly show you this and kind of move on. But it was a collector's first edition and it looks beautiful, and I have been collecting this series because I do want to read it eventually. And it is The Chain of Gold, The Last Hours, Book 2 by Cassandra Clare, another book in the Shadowhunter universe. You guys all know about this, like there's so many books, but one day I will get to it, and I just hope I love them. I also got the latest book by Jonas Joan Anson, and that is Sweet Sweet Revenge Limited, and I'm happy because I actually found the first book of his in the charity shop, and the other 2 books in the middle oh, there's another book, The Accidental Further Adventures of the 100-Year-Old Man. I didn't know that one existed, but The Girl That Saved the King of Sweden and the Hitman Anders I got from charity shops as well. So I haven't spent an awful lot, but I've got like the majority of the collection, which is nice. And I know they're not, I don't think they're interlinked, but I think they all look amazing together. So this is his latest book. I got that one full price, like brand new. And then in H&V I got let's see, J.G. Ballard, The Crystal World. I hadn't heard of this one before, but it sounded really interesting. It's a very short little book, and I think, is it a classic? I don't know, I think it might be a classic. When did this first come out? First published in 1966, like a modern classic, I guess. And it says, through a leaking of time, the West African jungle starts to crystallise. Trees metamorphose into enormous jewels. Crocodiles encased in second glittering skins lurk down the river. Pythons with huge blind gemstone eyes rear in heraldic poses. Most flee the area in terror, afraid to face what they cannot understand. But some, dazzled and strangely entranced, remain to drift through this dream-world forest. A doctor in pursuit of his ex-mistress, an enigmatic Jesuit wielding a crystal cross, and a tribe of lepers search for paradise. In this tour de force of the imagination, Ballard transports the reader into the most unforgettable landscapes. So it sounds very like fantasy-esque, but like how does this affect the landscape? And I don't know, interesting. I want to see how that works together. And I also purchased I Am Not Your Negro from Text by James Baldwin, and it's a movie directed by Raquel Peck, I think recently came out. And it says here, in June 1979, the writer and civil rights activist James Baldwin embarked on a project to tell the story of America through the lives of 3 of his murdered friends, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. He died before it could be completed. In his documentary film, I Am Not Your Negro, Raoul Peck imagines the book Baldwin never wrote, using his original words to create a radical, powerful and poetic work on race in the United States then and today. So very excited for those books. Now on to all the goodies I managed to find in some charity shops. So I found 2 Zadie Smith books. I've been wanting to get into this author's works, so I thought I would give these ones a go. So we have On Beauty, which is set in New England mainly and London partly. It concerns a pair of feuding families, the Belseys and the Kippses, and a clutch of doomed affairs. It puts low morals among high ideals and asks some searching questions about what life does to love. For the Belseys and the Kippses, the confusions, both personal and political, of our uncertain age are about to be brought close to home, right to the heart of the family. And above that it just says, why do we fall in love with the people we do? Why do we visit our mistakes on our children? What makes life truly beautiful? Very interesting. I feel like it's going to have a lot of deep thoughts in here, deep things to think on. And I also picked up Swing Time, and this one is again it starts with questions. How do we become who we are? Can we ever truly escape our origins? Must we dance to the music of our time? Set in London, New York and West Africa, it's about 2 brown girls from Willisden, who dream of being dancers. Only one, Tracy, has the talent, but the other has ideas which take her further than she could ever have imagined. It is a story of finding happiness in the meanest of places and feeling sad when all around you are happy. It's about the choices we make and the choices made for us. Above all, it's a tale of friendships that anchor us, define us and change us forever. So I'm hoping some female friendships and maybe even like confrontations, because it sounds like only one girl is talented out of the two. To see how that unfolds will be very interesting rather. I also picked up The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis in this beautiful edition. This cover illustration is by Pauline Baines and it carries over to the back. It's really stunning. I only got this for £1.50. This is actually the second in this series. Again, it's another set of books that I didn't realise there were like 6 books of. You know, originally when I first heard of the movies and stuff like that, but I would love to collect these editions. I think they're stunning. It's one of those, again, another one of those classics kind of children's stories where I'm like, oh, which edition do I get, because they've got so many beautiful ones that have come out now, but I really did like this one, so perhaps I'll collect them in these editions. Oh, as I mentioned earlier, I found a copy of The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared by Jonasson. Really excited to read this. I feel like you can read these books out of order, like out of publication order, because I don't think they're connected, but I don't know, I'd like to read them in the way they were released. I'm just funny like that. This one I'd never heard of before, but it looked interesting. It's called The Island of Howdee-haie by Ollie Locke, and this one was £2. I got in the charity shop called Sense. This says, on the 21st of January 2006, a 12-year-old girl called Antigone was astonished when she had spotted a whale in the River Thames outside her house on Cheyne Walk in London. Later that evening, the little girl travelled to Cornwall to stay with her aunt in a tiny castle overlooking the sea. While exploring the beach, she found a bronze lantern rolling in the waves, which she took back to her bedroom. That night, she was awoken by hundreds of multicoloured lights darting around her room and far off over the sea on the horizon. This is almost just reading like a story. Oh, it's big writing. I'm guessing it's for children, maybe. Okay. Mesmerised, the little girl headed out into the night, where she found a small boat on the rocks below. She set sail for the lights and embarked on an epic adventure that was to be nothing short of extraordinary. For that night, Antigone crossed over the horizon on a land kept secret from the human world, an archipelago of magical islands beyond your wildest dreams, where unbelievable creatures live and wishes can come true. Antigone had entered the islands of Howdee-haie. That sounds really magical. I did kind of think it was going to be like a little like adult fantasy, just because it looks so dark and like, I don't know, my mind instantly thought, oh, this must be for adults, but looking at the size, I think it might be aimed at young readers, and there's also illustrations and stuff in here too, so that might be a fun one. Also, I remember, I think when I first started NetGalley, or around that time, I requested this book and didn't get it, and I was like really upset. I think it was one of the first books that I tried to request and I got denied, and I was like, but this is Furiously Happy, a funny book about horrible things by Jenny Lawson, and I have been wanting to read this since it came out, but I just hadn't, you know, so many books, so little time. So it says, the author has explored her lifelong battle with mental illness, a hysterical, ridiculous book about crippling depression and anxiety. That sounds like a terrible idea, but terrible ideas are what Jenny Lawson does best. There we go. Oh, it's also got like a little blurb by Neil Gaiman, who's one of my favourite authors. So yeah, I'm excited to read a little bit of this non-fiction about mental illness, especially because that's something that's kind of close to my heart. I thought I got 2 Matt Haig books, but maybe not. I really thought I picked up 2 of them. Well, anyway, I got The Last Family in England. Oh, I think the other Matt Haig book that I saw was The Humans, and I've already got a copy of that. So this one, it says, Meet the Hunter Family. Prince is an earnest young dog striving hard to live up to the tenets of the Labrador pack, to remain loyal to your human masters, serve and protect your family at any cost. Other dogs, led by the Springer Spaniels, have revolted. As things in the Hunter family begin to go badly awry, marital breakdown, rowdy teenage parties, attempted suicide, Prince's responsibilities threaten to overwhelm him, and he is forced to break the Labrador pact and take desperate action to save his family. Oh, it sounds amazing. I hope I love that. That sounds really good. Oh, but I also feel like it had How to Stop Time in there. I swear I picked that up. Maybe not, maybe not. Okay. We've got a few more like classic kind of books here now. We've got Good Wives by Louisa May Alcott. I think this continues on with the story of Little Women, which I've not read yet. But this is such a stunning cover, like really beautiful. Again, this cover illustration is by Lizzie Stewart. I won't read this one because I don't know where in the sequence it is to be read, but I also picked up a copy of Beloved by Toni Morrison, which I've been reading a few Toni Morrison books. I've read two, Sula and The Bluest Eye, and so now this one can be added to my collection. And this one is set in the mid 1800s as a slavery looks to be coming to an end. Seth is haunted by the violent trauma it wrought on her former enslaved life at Sweet Home, Kentucky. Her dead baby daughter, whose tombstone bears the single word beloved, returns as a spectre to punish her mother, but also to evict her love. Told with heart-stopping clarity, melding horror and beauty, Beloved is Toni Morrison's enduring masterpiece. Wow, okay. I'm interested to see where I fall on the spectrum of enjoyment for this one, because Sula I found I was a little bit disappointed in. The Bluest Eye I really enjoyed, so I'm kind of hoping that I get a lot out. Then I've got two books which I have seen the covers of before but never really looked into it, but these look such in good condition and they are very striking, so I was very intrigued to try them. And they are these two books here. It's called, the name of this book is Secret, and If You're Reading This It's Too Late by Pseudonymous Botch. So this one says, I think this is the first one I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first book. It says, warning, do not read this book. For amongst its strange and alarming contents you will find two extraordinary adventurers, a missing magician's diary, a symphony of smells, and a deadly secret. But wait, you already know too much. It is too late. I'm afraid nothing will stop you now. Open the book if you must, but please tell no one. It just sounds so fun. Yeah, a little bit of, I think, middle grade. Apparently fans of Lemony Snicket will enjoy it as well, so looks fun. I think I'll enjoy that. And the last two books are sequels of books that is helpful because I've either read the predecessing books or own them. So 3 books in this series I read years ago. I also got them from charity shops, and although this one doesn't match my paperback copies, I just kind of want to finish it off. I've been meaning to finish it off for the longest time now, but I didn't want to like buy a full copy, and I kind of just hoped I'd stumble on it in a charity shop again. Finally I have, and that is Beck by Darren Shan, and this is part of the, what do they call it, the Demonata series, which is a 4-book series starting with Lord Loss, Demon Thief, and then Slaughter. And I really don't remember an awful lot about it, but it was such a book you could just dive in. It was some sort of like YA horror sort of vibes. I think I'll just easily fall into it as soon as I remember. It's about demons and like scary stuff. It's really fun. And then the other book that I'm so glad that I found a copy of in the charity shop, because again I found the other one, the first book, in the charity shop as well. That is Brian Selznick's Wonderstruck. I've got the Hugo one that I've yet to read, and it just looks amazing. It's just mainly illustrations. Yeah, it just looks beautiful. So hopefully now this will push me to read the first book and then follow up with this one. Oh, it looks so good. Right, that is it for part 1 of this trilogy of hauls. I hope you've enjoyed. Stay tuned for the NetGalley ebook part of the video, and also the vintage ones. So I'm gonna put these books away and I'll catch you later. Bye.